wanted to talk about something I saw on Instagram today from Laura Jean Truman, who is currently my favorite faith writer, also a bisexual. She made an Instagram post today about abandoning faith traditions that don't serve you in your process every day anymore. And coming from a background where all that can be talked about is the sacrifice of yourself, which I still believe in to a certain extent. But in the evangelical tradition, there is such an obsession with sacrifice that it often means not taking care of yourself. And I remember being in high school, and we were all told in our high school Sunday school class, which was led by our pastor's wife, that we were supposed to, be doing daily quiet times. Doesn't matter what time you do it, as long as you do it. It can even be 5 minutes a day to start. There was always that caveat, like you were supposed to eventually make your way into more thorough quiet times, because no matter how busy your day is, you should have time for the Lord. And there are certain elements to that I still find value in. Like, I understand that in order to better understand, I'm saying understand a lot, in order to better grasp what you are living in terms of like having a worldview and acting upon it, I think it makes perfect sense to spend time studying the book that your theology is based on. That makes total sense to me. But I remember being in high school, and whenever we had those discussions in Sunday school or in youth group or whatever, I always felt guilt exclusively. And looking back, it's because every time we talked about quiet times, people would talk about, what kind of devotions they were doing. And I was never doing devotions because they didn't work for me. Like, I could do them for a short period of time, and then I would lose interest in them because they didn't carry enough meaning in my life to stick with them. They weren't working for the way my brain was working. Because for me, faith is a very active thing. It always has been. I just didn't understand what that looked like as a kid. And now that I'm an adult, I have a better understanding of who I want to be in the world. And right now, that looks like a more mystic, a broader view of faith. And letting go of certain traditions that are in a lot of ways treated like checking off boxes. So, you pray before your meal because you're thanking God for the provision that you're being presented with. But you can thank God for food any time of the day or night. You don't need to do it at the dinner table. It's not a requirement. You're not a heathen if you don't pray before your meal. Doing a devotion every day is good for study and becoming more knowledgeable, more active, I guess, in the thought aspect of faith. But in terms of practice, there's also that element of how are you talking to other people throughout your day? Are you having interactions that are consistent with the belief system that you supposedly hold? Because the other element of evangelicalism that always made me uncomfortable, that I've since abandoned, was the idea of evangelism. Evangelism and daily devotions / quiet times were so intertwined in my faith tradition as a kid that I associated them together. And understanding their uses and their damages that they can cause over time has helped me be a more honest person with myself. Because at the end of the day, what matters more to me is whether the love that I show other people through the way that I speak and the way that I act towards them, how I serve them, that all matters so much more to me than how many minutes I could read a Bible passage and write in a journal about it. Call me a heretic if you want, but it's not serving my specific experience anymore. So I eliminated them a long time ago. But that Instagram post reshaped the way I thought about it, the elements of guilt that I still carried for not practicing those parts of the religion that I grew up practicing. All of that has been slowly reshaped in my mind, and the remnants of that are being healed by the realizations like this one that I had earlier reading that post. I am not required to check off those boxes to say that I have faith, to act out that faith in a daily practice of love and service. It's not a requirement. It's not even always needed in order to live that day to day. And at a certain point, maybe I'll be able to get back into those things without it, A, being traumatic, and B, being burdensome. And I can feel the screams of heresy just like raining down from the pillars of people that I had of faith as a kid. Just put up an umbrella, it'll be fine. I'm so slowly taking all of those pillars and just kind of pushing them out. Because I can't knock them down, but I can get them out of my way so that I can learn from people who are as honest about the things they're learning and the mistakes they're making as I want to be. There's space for everybody within a faith that's based in loving your neighbor, as long as you're willing to do that. And that should be as simple as it is. And it's hard, but it's not as hard as people would like you to think it is. I got thoughts, apparently. I wasn't planning to talk that long about it, but here we are. My foot's falling asleep. I never sit here unless I'm doing this. I have no reason to. I should sit there. Then I have to hold it. This is like 2017 video vibes, huh? Stupid. It's all stupid.